Alright guys, what's up? So today's video is going to be titled, Should You Drive Manual? What I wanted to do is, I want to make a video for those people who are thinking about buying a car and they're not sure if they want to buy like a manual transmission car or an automatic. Because I know when I was first getting my car, I wasn't sure if I wanted to learn manual or if I should just get an automatic and like not bother to learn it. So this video is for you guys who are like still hesitant and not sure if you want a manual car or an automatic car. For those of you who are thinking about getting a manual car, you guys are probably intimidated by the fact of like driving a manual car itself. You guys probably have never driven a manual car before. At least that's what it was for my case. I had never driven a manual car before this car, so I had to learn on this car and everything. So it is pretty intimidating to when you're first starting to learn to drive manual. Like, it's intimidating for everybody. Like, you're gonna stall, you're gonna mess up, and it's just part of the learning process. So it is gonna be intimidating when you first start learning how to drive, but you'll get there. So learning manual is not that difficult. Like, it's not really that hard. It just takes time and practice. You just have to put in the time and you'll learn it. Learning manual is like playing a video game, honestly. So it's like when you first start playing a video game, you're like not really sure of all the controls and stuff, and you're just kind of like learning how to play the game. But then after a while, it just becomes second nature to you, and you just get better at the game, and then you learn like all the combos and everything. So it's a lot like playing a video game. You just kind of learn everything. A lot of people compare it to riding a bike, but I can't ride a bike, so I just compare it to like playing a video game because that's my best comparison. And honestly, like when I was first learning to drive manual, it did feel a lot like playing a video game, because you have to like push in the clutch, change gears, and do all this stuff. It's like completely different from driving automatic, because you have to like do a lot more stuff, and it's just a lot more interactive. So it was like playing a video game to me, because I was like, well, I have to like do all this stuff. It was really fun. So that's one good thing about driving manual. When you first start learning and you first start driving, it's actually really fun. Like all my friends, when I taught my friend to drive manual, like he was like, dude, let's go again. Like he wanted to like start right away. Like he kept wanting to keep trying to learn how to drive manual. Like he was like, dude, let's go tomorrow. Let's try again and all this stuff. And I was the same way. Like I kept wanting to go. I was like, Dad, let's go again tomorrow. Like let's try again in an hour. Like I just wanted to keep trying it because I wanted to learn it. So it's really fun to learn. You guys are probably wondering like, how long is it probably going to take me to learn manual? Honestly, it depends on you yourself. It's different for everybody. Like for me, it took me maybe like 3 to 4 days to like learn how to drive it and then be like comfortable enough to like go on the street and drive on the street. But then overall, it probably takes around a month for you to just like be completely like second nature. Like around a month, like you won't even notice that you're like driving manual. You'll just be like shifting and you won't even notice it. Like it's just so second nature to you that you just know how to drive it. But I will tell you, when you're learning to drive manual, it's like relearning how to drive. You'll know like the rules of the road and like everything. Like you already know all that, but driving the car itself, it's like relearning how to drive a car. So it's gonna be kind of fun. It takes you back to like when you first started driving a car and you're just like, all right, I gotta like relearn how to drive now. So that's another fun thing about driving manual. People say when you drive manual, they're like, oh, don't get a manual. Like when you're stuck in traffic, it sucks. And all I have to say is, well, when you're stuck in traffic, whether you have a manual or an automatic, it sucks either way. So the manual doesn't really make that big of a difference. And when people say like stuck in traffic, they don't really mean like I have to like go to work and I have 20 minutes of traffic at work and then I have to wait like another 20 minutes going back home. Like that's not really that big of a deal. The only time it's really like annoying is probably if you like live in the city and you always have back-to-back traffic, because then you won't really get to enjoy driving a manual. Because the point of a manual is to like it's the experience of the driving. Like when you're driving a manual, it's just the experience, because you get to drive and you shift gears. But if you're just always stuck in traffic, you never get to like go through all the gears and stuff. So it's not going to be as fun of an experience. So if you guys like live in like the city and you're thinking about getting a manual, I honestly, in my recommendation, I would be like, just get an automatic, because it won't really be as fun to you. It'll just be more of an annoyance. And you won't really get to have the full experience of driving a manual unless you just take your car out on the weekends. Then that's a different thing. The one thing I like about manual cars, so driving a manual is like way more of an experience than driving an automatic. When you drive an automatic car, it's like you just kind of press on the gas and go, and the car does everything for you. But driving a manual, you're in control. So when you drive a manual, you like control everything. You control like when to shift, You can control like when to slow. You can slow down while driving manual. You can do like everything. So it's more of an experience because you're like interacting with the car itself. Recommendation I have for you guys: if you guys aren't going to get a manual car, I recommend that you at least try to learn it, because you never know in life when you might need to drive a manual car. Like maybe one day, like you have to drive a manual car. Maybe your significant other, like maybe they have a manual car and you need to drive their car somewhere, or maybe your friend has a manual car and you need to drive his car somewhere, and then you don't know how to drive it. So then you can't help them out. But like if you already know like how to drive manual because you learned it, then you can help them out. So you just never know in life when you need to drive it. So I recommend you at least learn it, because it's a good thing to know. It's a good thing to know to like learn how to drive manual. If you guys are thinking about getting a manual car and you're like, all right, I've never driven manual before and stuff, I recommend that you find someone that knows how to drive it. Maybe one of your friends knows, or your parents, and you're like, hey, and you find a manual car and you're like, hey, can I drive your car or something? So then you can like be like, hey, can you teach me how to drive? Like you should test it out first. Like try it, see if you like it. Like ask them to teach you and try it out, see if you like it, and that will better help you understand if you want to get a manual car or not. Also, if you're like thinking about getting a manual car and you don't have anybody that can teach you how to drive, then I honestly don't know what to say, because I never experienced that myself. But I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people that have learned to drive manual on their own, but I don't know. I would be honestly scared if I went to like the dealership and I got a brand new car and it was in manual and I had no idea how to drive it and I had no one to drive the car back home for me. I would honestly be scared. So I don't know, if you could, I recommend you at least find somebody or try to like take a lesson or something beforehand before you try to learn on your own. Let's talk about automatic cars now. So there's always this big fuss in the car community about like, oh, you should have a manual car. Like you're not a car guy if you drive an automatic. And honestly, like it's not that big of a deal. Like it's your car, you can pick if you want an automatic or a manual. Like no one really cares. Like if they say that, I don't know, just ignore them. It's not that big of a deal. And honestly, automatic cars are good too. Like automatic cars get better miles per gallon, and they're honestly fun too. Like the BRZ and automatic, they have paddle shifters, so they're pretty fun, and they're just as interactive as manual cars nowadays. So there's nothing wrong with automatic cars. I think they're fine. So get whatever car you want. So nothing against automatics. This video is just for like, if you're thinking about getting a manual car and you're not sure, like, you know, there's nothing wrong with an automatic car. No one's gonna, like, people might judge you, but just ignore them. No one cares about what they think. And honestly, automatic cars, like there are days where I'm like, man, I wish I had an automatic, because honestly sometimes manual does get a little bit annoying to drive after a while, because it's like you're always having to shift gears, and I'm like sometimes I drive my mom's car and it's just so much easier because I just step and go. I just step on the gas and go, and it's just as simple. So they have their good sides, and manual cars have their downsides and good sides too. So get whatever you guys want. One thing that manual cars have over automatic cars is that you, the driver, have complete control over the car. I can drive right now and I can slow down without even using the brake, because I can just shift down gears and just slow down by shifting like down gears. So I don't even have to brake. I can just shift down a gear and then the car will slow down on its own. And also I can shift up a gear if I want to like save gas. So if I'm driving, I can just like shift up to like a higher gear while I'm driving, and then it'll save me gas because I have a lower RPM. So that's one thing about manual. You just have complete control over the car, and it's just a lot more fun and interactive. See, I'm in traffic right now, and traffic sucks either way, so it doesn't matter that I'm in a manual. Like this is sucky either way. Like if I was in automatic, it wouldn't make a difference. I'll just like go to the brake and brake again. And this, I just have to gas it and then brake, so it's whatever. So overall, don't be intimidated by a manual car. Like everyone's always intimidated at first, but it's okay to be intimidated, but you'll learn it, okay? Like you'll learn how to drive. So if you're thinking about getting a manual car, I honestly think you should get one. Like it's a great car, it's a great experience. Don't be scared. You guys can do it. I believe in you. So everyone's scared when they first get a manual car, dude. You can do it. All I have to do is like go a little bit further, and there's a turn, and there's just a straight road where there's never anybody. So all I need to do is go a little bit further. But this light just so bad. It's like green for like 4 seconds, and then it just turns red. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about manual cars or versus automatic cars, like leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer what I can, but you guys can always look up stuff on your own too. So I'll just try to answer whatever I can. You guys can leave some comments. I'll try to help you out. I wish I could like drive right now so I could show you guys like the fun stuff of manual cars, but I'm stuck in traffic, so I can't really do anything right now. I need to go up there. Like manual cars are really fun. Like you don't have to shift. Like, you can just be in gear and just gun it, and it's just fun. Or you can always downshift and gun it. That's like the funnest thing to do in a manual car. Like, if you're ever just driving and you're in like 5th or 6th gear and you're just like, let's shift down to like 3rd or 4th, and you just gas it, like, it's fun. You just take off. And then you can rev match in manual too, so you can downshift and rev match by putting in the clutch and revving and then just shifting down a gear, and it's just really fun. And it makes like a really nice noise in the back. Like, you just don't get that with automatic cars. I mean, you can if you like have paddle shifters and stuff, but it's just not the same, because it's like you're not really doing it. Like, the car is doing it, but with a manual, you're doing it. Hope my camera doesn't cut off again. My camera like records for like 15 minutes or something like that, and then it just cuts off. So then I'm like, I don't know when it's gonna cut off, so I'm in the middle of talking sometimes and it just cuts off, and it sucks. Yes, it's green. All right, I hope it doesn't cut off, because this is like my favorite turn right here. There's like never anybody on this road. This is literally just a one-way empty road. Yes. I'll try to downshift again. Alright, so right now I'm in like 5th gear. I'm going in 36, and now I can just shift down to 3rd gear and give it some gas, and it's just always fun because you're in control. You can just shift down like 2 gears and just do that yourself. So yeah, it's fun. Overall, automatic versus manual. Manual cars are more of an experience for the driver, honestly, because you're in control of the car. You control everything you want to do. Automatic cars, the car is in control, basically. Like, the car is doing everything for you. So you guys honestly have to decide for yourself, like, do you want to be the one that's like doing everything, so it's more work for you, but it's more of an experience and more fun, or do you want to just have the automatic car just do everything for you? It's honestly your choice. Pick whichever one you want, but in my recommendation, honestly, just try it out. Like, ask a friend that has a manual car, be like, hey man, can you teach me how to drive manual today or something? Or like, just try it out. Like, I've had my friend Marvin, like, my friend Chris lets him drive his car sometimes, and he's tried it out and he loves it. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm definitely getting a manual car next time. So just try it out. Like, you won't regret it. But yeah, thanks for watching today's videos, guys. I hope it was helpful for anybody who's thinking about getting a manual car, or is scared, or is like trying to like thinking about learning how to drive manual or anything, and you're not sure about it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Like this video if you guys liked it. If you guys didn't, don't dislike it. Don't be like that. I mean, I guess you can dislike it, but whatever. And then if you guys want to see any more of my content, you can subscribe. Have a nice day, guys, and I'll see you next time. I just can't do that with an automatic. Red lights suck.